Hi, I'm Kelly. As a life coach, I've noticed that the work I do with people isn't about their relationships or their jobs. It isn't about their kids or even how to find a way to get all the laundry done. All the work we do together centers around finding the answer to one simple question. What does it mean to live a fulfilled life? Join me as I explore this question and more in conversation with others in the Fulfilling Life interviews with me, Kelly Dahl, as your host. Hello, it's Kelly, and I'm here today with Richert Belul to talk about what it means to live a fulfilling life. And Sherry and I met, I'm thinking about this now, was it a year or two ago now, through a course we took together. And so it's great to talk with you again, Sherry. We've stayed in touch since then, but it's great to talk face to face with you for the first time. So welcome. Thank you for being here. And I would love you first to share with everybody the work that you do and a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you, actually to get to see you. So hi. So my work is all revolves around celebration. My company is Simply Celebrate. And to me, the simply is just as much important as the celebrate part. So it's really about helping people celebrate themselves moment to moment in daily life, and also finding ways to celebrate traditional occasions with more heart and creativity, and also finding ways to celebrate in the dark. So like when things are hard, how do we really still love who we are and love our lives? So that's it.
That's great. And it's so great to think about celebrating all parts of life. And one thing I've loved about getting to know you is just a joyful, celebrating mood that you bring to just about everything, which is intoxicating, really. So it's great to have you here and to talk about fulfillment. So that's the big topic for these interviews. And so we'll start by looking at the overarching question. So Sherry, what does it mean to you to live a fulfilling life?
And first of all, I have to thank you because every time I hear that question on your videos, I love it because it gives pause, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's such a great question. And right now, right here in this moment, what's coming up for me is that a fulfilling life is really about connection for me. So it's about presence. Am I here, like right now? This is very fulfilling to be having the chance to talk to you, to be connected, to really see what the moment brings, and to be as much here as I can. And so for me, I think any time that I can bring that sense of connectedness, whether it's, I'm by myself and I'm feeling connected to who I am in my life, or I'm with strangers or people that I love, I'm really feeling like I'm here. And that just feels so fulfilling.
It does. I think I use the word grounded for that sometimes, just grounded in the moment and what is happening, even if it's crappy or even if it's celebratory or joyful or whatever it might be. But there is power really in that ability to be connected with where you are and who you're with and all of it.
And love that. And I love the way that you gave it, it's like the breadth of it too, that it's like, it's not just being here when things feel really good and I'm in those happy places. Right. It's being here through it all, no matter what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared for all of it because we're guaranteed to have lots of joy, but we're also guaranteed to have sorrow. And that's part of the flow of life.
Absolutely. I've been, that phrase, 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. Have you ever heard that?
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's Buddhist. It might be a Chinese. I'm not sure even where it comes from, but that's been a phrase that's gone through my mind a lot lately. It's really knowing that each human life, we have the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows, and how to be there for all of them.
Yeah. And to understand that that's the beauty of life, really, and to embrace that and to connect with it, really, to be with it through all of it. So what are some of the things that you do to stay connected or to keep living a fulfilling life, sort of day to day or overarching bigger picture things?
So, for me, I don't know if you know this about me, but you may. I have a history of anxiety and depression. And this has been, so my practice over the past 20 years, ever since I had this huge many years of depression, has been to do a daily practice of what I call seeking the pinpricks of light, and seeking them and also creating them. And a pinprick of light for me could be calling my mom, who I just adore, and hearing her voice. It could be holding my cat. It might be juggling with my son. It might be sending a note to somebody. They're just tiny moments of joy and connection. And so my daily practice is really that. Like whenever I feel like I'm not, like you said, grounded, or I'm not feeling fulfilled, it's like, where can I look around me and find that pinprick of light, or how can I create it for somebody else? And that, it saved me. It's really literally saved my life.
I like how you say it too. That's so wise. A pinprick of light. I feel like I could hold on to that. I really like that. But I think it brings up something that I believe strongly in, and I try to help people with my work, is that we do have the power to create those moments and to bring that light into our life. And whether you think of it as light or joy or love or happiness or gratitude, but that in the moment to moment, you do have the ability to shift things a little bit. And it combats that underlying tendency or history of depression or anxiety or whatever people hold within them, to learn ways to manage it.
Yes. And it's the thing is, it's like, again, back to the simple part of it. Like, to me, that's so important. Like, at least for me, when I'm in a place of feeling depressed, it can seem so like an iron wall, there's absolutely no light. And like, it would take amazing things to get that little bit of light, but it doesn't, The reason I wear hats is an example of, it's like such a simple thing that brings me joy. Yeah. And it takes us, literally a few seconds to put a hat on, and it's like, boom, there's a little light,
Right.
Yeah.
And the simple is so important too, to me, because it has to be accessible. It doesn't have, like, anytime you put like any sort of rigidity on it, and granted, that does work for some people to have a very strict practice of whatever it might be, but I'm hearing from you and from me too that if it's simple and accessible and something I could just do, like make a cup of tea or light a candle when I know I need to shift my mood, to try those things that I know might bring that pinprick of light, like you said, which is great.
Yeah, I love that.
So what has helped you uncover those things that do bring that light into your life? How has that process been for you?
Well, I'll tell you, the very first thing that happened for me years ago that I saw as the bridge, just sort of to get me from that one place to this really fulfilling life place, for me came from gift giving. It came from giving gifts that were really creative and heartfelt. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's just an amazing, anytime. I mean, now it's like my go-to also, it's like that anytime I feel sort of lost in anything that and keeping me away from being present to life, it's like if I can create something for someone that reflects and how wonderful, how unique they are, I'm immediately like in a whole different place.
Yeah, and that again it can be simple, it could be extravagant if you're doing something handmade or something like that, but there are very simple things. I mean, I remind myself of that all the time, like, what would I need? Maybe I can give that to somebody else. So I'll send a text to a friend that I haven't talked to in a while. And it's really so simple, but it makes me feel good to know that I've reached out and sent a little love to somebody else, even if it's just like, hey, how you doing? I miss you.
I know, I love that. I love that. One of the things that I'm doing right now, it was my birthday last week, and I'm doing what I call the 49-49-49 project. And so every day I'm sending one handwritten note to a stranger. So people on my subscriber list have sent me notes, and they're just so amazingly heartbreaking, actually, a lot of them. So they sent me notes of maybe, their mother has recently gone through divorce, or, my daughter's gone off to college, doesn't have any friends. There are things like that. And so every day I'm just writing, and they're just short notes. They're not like anything huge, but they are just like, it's just such a practice that, for me, it's like it just changes my whole mood. And I hope offers, again, that little pinprick for somebody. They're anonymous notes. I don't know where they're coming from. They're just coming from the universe, just to say, like, hey, somebody out here loves doing stuff. And yeah, it takes about 5 or 10 minutes to do.
Right.
So simple.
Yeah, yeah, and I love the way that you encourage other people to do that, and some of the other practices that you have through your work, and sharing that almost as a movement, which is just so inspiring.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a history of anxiety and depression. What are some of the things that now get in your way of continuing on this path of living a fulfilling life?
I can tell you, the number one thing, and it's like right there, right away, anytime that I hold a picture of how things should be, how my life should be, how I should be, anytime I have that it's the biggest obstacle ever, because it's like, it totally gets in the way of what is, and what is pure, and what is possible. So anytime I'm comparing myself, comparing my life, it's just killer. So.
That's so true. That's so true. I've been, a group that I'm in has been bringing up this idea of expectations, which is the same thing, right? Like what something should look like. And, we can't help but, so I've been thinking about it a lot, and it was a really moving conversation we had the other day in this group that I'm in. But, why do we set ourselves up for this? Why do we do this for ourselves and create these expectations that, real life, I don't know that it ever matches the expectations. Even when you have an amazing time, right? It's not, you can't predict what that amazing time is going to be.
Yeah. I love that you brought in the word expectation, because it's right in that same bunch,
Right. Right.
Because it's right that, like, I've been in the middle of something where it's like everything is looking up exactly how I thought, and it just doesn't feel the right. And then it's like, And other times where it's like nothing looks at all I'd imagine, and it's bliss.
Right.
It's just, and I love that.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm in a story, if I'm seeing that, it's like just drop it.
Yeah. And so how do you drop it then? So if that's your biggest obstacle, what helps you to get through that should, or to let go of that expectation that you're holding on to?
Well, fortunately, I have a 20-year Zen practice, which I am so eternally grateful for, because that and during meditation, that practice of constantly bringing ourselves back here, right back here, that it's like, and the awareness, that goes around. So it's like, I'm fortunate that I feel like I'm so aware now of these processes, not all the time, of course, but it's like as much more than I ever used to. But it's like, I can know, by how my body feels, like I start to get that yicky feeling when I'm like, and it's like, just first the breath, just come back to the breath. Mm-hmm. And then, for me, where's that pinprick of light? Right here, right now. What beauty around me, what color, and I call right now to just like, use that, I love you, I'm so happy in my life, just anything to get me right back in the moment.
Yeah.
And
it's great how it's all intertwined, and how, I feel like you're so clear on the things that help you, and the things that get in your way, and that pinprick of light practice is so simple, because you can do it at any moment, because there are things that you can find anytime, really.
Yeah, and and that's why I love it so much for myself. Like, it really, I'm not exaggerating when I say it's to me, because I did, because my life used to be looking at the iron wall all the time. And when I shifted my attention to the pinprick, one little pinprick,
Right.
I mean, you can even see it. One pinprick in an iron wall is everything.
Yeah.
And so I know that now, and I can never be taken away from me, so it's like, okay, where's the pinprick?
Right. It's
and
fantastic.
How to get after someone else is the other piece of it. I think is so important, that it's like, it doesn't, like you keep saying too, it doesn't take much to do it for someone, you know, and it's amazing when we start to see life that way. Like, okay, how can I make this person feel the next 5 minutes?
Right. Yeah. It's really beautiful. It has been such a pleasure to talk with you about what it means to live a fulfilling life, Sherry. I'm so glad that we were able to connect and make this happen. And there are so many nuggets that you have shared that I will hold on to, I know, and then I know everybody else will as well. So thank you so much for being part of this series. Do you have anything else you want to share with everybody, or thoughts, final words?
Well, I do really want to thank you for the series. I love seeing all of these different people. There's so many gems in each video, and so I do for having this series. It's amazing, and I feel like I've been introduced to people I didn't know before. So it's such a joy.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And I feel the same way about it. It really feels like this gift that I have, that I get to have these conversations with people. It really, truly is. So thank you for being a part of it.
Yay, I'm so excited.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.